get started, welcome to this week's Jewish Gen Talk with Judi Missel, who's going to give us a sneak peek and an exclusive preview into this summer's IAJGS Conference, which is going to be taking place virtually because of the situation and the complexities of doing something that would be in person. It's going to be a really exciting and wonderful conference. I've seen a little bit of the plan, and I'm sure all of you will be excited after Judi's talk. A couple of notes. This session is being recorded. First of all, for those of you who are coming back to our Jewish Gen Talks, who have been with us for the entire series, welcome back. It's great to see you. For those of you who are new, my name is Avram Grohl. I'm privileged to serve as Executive Director of JewishGen.org. We're an affiliate of the Museum of Jewish Heritage downtown in New York City. We're glad that you're with us today. Please go on JewishGen.org/live to see our upcoming webinars, and we hope that both our returning attendees and new attendees will join us for future programs. This program will be recorded and be made accessible on the Jewish Gen YouTube channel and also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/JewishGen.org. Once it's loaded to our YouTube channel, we will post a message on our discussion group letting you know. So if you're not on the discussion group, please do so, please register. You could go to our homepage, JewishGen.org, and click on Connect. A little bit about Judi. Judi has been a member of the Phoenix Jewish Genealogy Group and has been fascinated by genealogy for 30 years. She is very, very well known in the Jewish genealogical community for her work in organizing conferences that have attendance of hundreds, if not more than 1,000 people. In addition to her administrative and organizational skills, she's also a well-known genealogist who gives presentations and does research for people. So we are honored that she is with us today and to talk a little bit about the conference. Jewish Gen will, as always, have a significant presence at the conference, and we encourage all of you to register. It is educational, it's fun, you get to connect with other people who have similar interests. It's really a wonderful experience, and even though it's not in person, there are so many different ways that you can connect virtually through the many, many different opportunities that Judi and her team have created and are in the middle of working on. So I hope you'll enjoy this presentation. You can post questions in the chat. Judi will get to questions after her presentation is over. And without further ado, I pass it over to Judi.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome. I'm pretending I can see you. I can see lots of names coming through on people that I know, and I thank you for supporting me, including my brother and my daughter and a variety of friends that I grew up with, who we don't even want to know for how many years I've known all of them. And I want to certainly say thank you to Jewish Gen for allowing me to have this presentation to tell you all about what the conference is going to look like coming up. Oh, wait, there we go. Let me get it all set up here. Move myself out of the way. So as you all know, this is going to be the IAJGS all virtual conference. It is going to be from August 1st to August 5th online. And the website for more information is IAJGS2021.org, but we'll talk more about that later. I need to tell you a little bit about what IAJGS actually is. It is International Association of Jewish Genealogical Societies, which now you know why we actually use the acronym, because it's a whole lot easier. It's a nonprofit umbrella organization. At last count, there were 94 societies and affiliate members from around the world. And we're talking every place from Australia to South Africa to all over Europe and all over the United States. We even have one in Antarctica. The idea of IAJGS is to bring together a Jewish genealogy community so we can come up with ideas of ways to give you more educational opportunities, both in person and online. And one of the big pieces of that is to sponsor an annual conference. Also, they assist and promote in the research of Jewish family history. So the annual conference strives to inspire attendees to explore and presume their family story. It also provides opportunities, as Avram said, to meet with worldwide friends. I have met and now have friends literally around the world, and it's one of the best parts. I will miss seeing them in person this summer as well as last summer, but hopefully 2022 we'll be able to get together again. It arranges learning opportunities from experts on all different kinds of topics, dozens of topics and countries, and allows you to do access to research your personal discoveries as well as expand your resources and ideas for additional research. So every year we have tracks, what we call tracks or themes. And there's some pretty standard ones that happen each year. The beginner's track is intended for people who are just starting out. And all of these tracks and themes are how we structure a conference, how we put together what we want the speakers to present and what the kinds of things that you will appeal to people coming to our conferences. So there's always a piece of DNA insights, and that's going to include presentations this year about data visualization and how to track through why DNA. And also there's a track that talks about keepers of the Shoah memory, which includes writing the stories and preserving the memories of the Holocaust survivors within our families. But every year too, because usually depending on the location, or in this case now worldwide, we also have some unique themes, and those that we decided for 2021 are talking about early Jewish settlers in America. Some of us forget that unlike my family who immigrated in 1948, there have been Jewish families here from some of the very earliest days of colonial America. So we wanted to find out about that. Also, we wanted to find out and have speakers discuss the methodology and mechanics of the kinds of things you can do with your computer. I'm a bit of a computer nerd, I admit it, but some of the things, like we have a speaker who's going to be talking about location mapping using Google Mapping for where your ancestors moved and went. What can you do more sophisticated with a spreadsheet? I've used them before to try and decide. I had a group of names on a database, and I needed to be able to try and sort them into families to make sense of all those names in the list, those kinds of things. And then one of the other things that I find fascinating is the heritage and cultural materials. What can we talk about our families that are not just vital statistics? Have recipes been handed down in your family? Have you inherited a set of candlesticks you want to find more out about? What kinds of things are specific to that have been inherited by your family? So let's talk a little bit about, so we've had in-person conferences and seminars since the early 1980s. And they've been in cities and countries all over the world. Our first ever all virtual conference was last summer because we had to, but so much has changed since last summer. And I want to be able to tell you how exciting this new environment is going to be for this summer. First thing is, you're going to actually walk in to the auditorium. You're going to walk into the lobby area, and on this first outside page is where you're going to sign in, because everybody has to be registered. So there will be your sign in, and literally it will look like you're walking in. Once you've walked into there, I want to be able to tell you that everyone has to register, but we're going to be maximizing the choices. There are 3 different paths of registration so that everybody can be able to participate on the level that they're most comfortable with. So we have free access, which obviously is free. There is limited access, and then there's the full conference access. Now, all of those, what you have access to varies depending on what price point you're choosing. And I'm going to discuss those later on, but I wanted to be able to make sure that you understood there are all different levels for everybody. So this is what the lobby looks like. Now, I have to tell you, our conference virtual environment has not yet been built. So It might not look exactly like this when we get there, but the basic pieces of it will be the same. You'll walk into this area and you'll choose to either go to the auditorium, which is where we'll spend most of our time, the expo hall, which is where our sponsors and our vendors and exhibitors will be, and then more information about networking and how to have that happen. So in the auditorium, you're going to have the listing of all the sessions and the meetings. There's going to be session and speaker information, both about the topic, about the session, and about the speaker, and what other sessions the speaker's doing. There'll be links for you to create your own personal, what our vendor calls, our database calls My Itinerary, which is your personal schedule. You're going to select which sessions you want to go to, and this is for the live sessions, live streaming sessions. And then you can also have a pathway for sessions, for different session chat rooms. So this is basically what the auditorium drop-down menu looks like. You get to pick either by day, by topic. This is obviously for another company. Ours will be similar. You can join a webinar. Here they're talking about what the webinar is about. I'm not sure what this one really is about. And it says that I am registered for this. And then there are other links to put it into my schedule, which is what that little dot is, this first one. And then see, this one's on demand. These two are on demand, and this one's a webinar. So let's talk about on demands, what the difference is between on demands and webinars. So obviously, live streaming webinars, like what we're having now, we'll have about 50 of those, and those will be spread out over the week. One of the challenges for IAJGS and for all of our conferences, what we realized last year when we were setting up the schedule was we have basically a span of about 13 time zones between Australia and Israel to be able to schedule things. So we will try our best, just like we did last year, to have the widest range so that Europe doesn't have to always get up at 3 a.m. and Australia doesn't always have to get up. So trying to work our best to make that a good range of times. The on-demand presentations, we'll have about 150 of those right now, it looks like, and those are pre-recorded, and those obviously you're able to go view whenever it's convenient for you. These are the sponsors we had last year. Chances are real good we'll have very many of the same. And they will be in the expo hall, and those, they will have medium to large size to booths that you'll be able to go visit. And a typical booth looks something like this. Now this is a smaller one because we're also having the expo hall. We're going to have what I'm calling a conference booth, and those are going to be for the translators, the mentors, and our book authors who want to sell their books, which normally we have a table set up where they can go tell you about their book, and an author can sell it. We're going to do it at one of these smaller booths, and there'll be links out to their personal websites to sell things. We're not going to actually have sales through the conference website. Mentors will have hours that can be, you can schedule with a mentor to talk to a mentor. And translators, we're still working on the mechanics of this for in all the past conferences, and I've used it for myself, and it was an amazing resource. I had an obituary that was an old German that I couldn't read, and I took it to a translator and found out all about my two times great-grandfather, and it was wonderful. So we will have a translator, Shelley Polero, who I believe is on here. We're going to be working on how to have part of your registration includes telling us that you have something that you want to be translated, and other people who say they can offer translation services in particular languages. So we'll work out the mechanics of that. We're going to try and see if the translators can maybe see a copy beforehand and then meet with you one-on-one to talk about what your document says. So, but that will also run through one of these small booths in the expo hall. The resource library, which Jen Meisel's Alan is the one who handles that. We are very happy. In the past, we had a computer lab that had all these dedicated computers that had links out to websites that you normally can't access from any place else but either a library or at their particular archive. She's done an amazing job working with a whole variety of archives and libraries to put together a list. This is a very short list. Some of these are actually free, as you can see, and the first few are from Ancestry, who is one of our sponsors this year. This list will grow. Right now, I didn't want to put on ones that I wasn't sure we had commitments from, but the way it'll work this year is they are allowing our attendees, our full access attendees, to have a link, a password protected link into their homes for the week of the conference, so that they can explore these databases, which normally you have to pay for or get to on your own. So I'm pretty pleased about that one. The other thing is, now this one's something totally new. This is called your personal Ebag, and your personal Ebag allows you to keep documents, copies of documents, download the handouts, download documents, download videos, keep contacts and information, lists of attendees, lists of exhibitors you want to talk to and find out more information from. It's obviously not a physical bag, but it's going to be a digital bag where you can put things and keep yourself for information for yourself. We also have an attendee lounge, which could be really cool. Again, not sure if ours will look exactly like this, but looks comfy. I think you have to make your own coffee for it though. And this will be the access to the chat and the discussion groups, something called Smart Match, which I will tell you about in a little bit. And also being able to get in, there'll be a link to evaluate the sessions and the speakers within the session, but also you can always get back to it from here. So networking is a huge piece of any conference. Different than walking around and talking to people, obviously, but we're going to try and see if we can make these things work. So we're going to have a mobile app, the lounge that you just saw, and then something called Smart Match. Now, Smart Match allows you to go in and make contacts, and appointments to be able to find other family. And one of the things that that's included in your registration, you get to list, we're going to up it this year to 8 names. So you'll have 8 family names, the towns they lived in, and the country. So those are the names you're researching. So hopefully you'll be able to find, the idea is to be able to find and network with other people searching either the same town or the same name. This is an improvement over in past years. Up until all the in-person conferences, the names were printed on your badge that you wore. And so you had to sort of go look around on everybody else's front of their chest to see if you could find a name. This is a big improvement, I think. And you can find out, and also a way to find new friends, people who live in your same hometown or are studying the same country or town that you are. The mobile app will help you with your connectivity. You can create your custom itinerary. The mobile app has a phone version of it, but it also has a PC, a web-based version. So you can put it either on your laptop, computer, or on your mobile app as well, on your phone as well. You create your custom itinerary, all the things that you want to be able to look at. One of the questions came up from last year that people wanted to be able to view a presentation on their phone. I'm not sure I know my eyes are no longer young enough to do that, but that will be possible this year. You can search for the exhibitors through the mobile app. You can read up sessions and information, everything that you were able to do in the auditorium, you'll also be able to technically do through your mobile app and your phone. You'll be able to download the handouts and take notes. Now, on this, you have to self-edit. Everyone's name and email will be on your mobile app as an automatic once you register and once the mobile app goes live. If you choose to remove yourself or remove your email or your name or whichever part of it, just letting you know ahead of time, that's something you will have to self-edit. We're also going to have integrated I'm calling it a digital reference and guidebook. Usually we have, for those of you who've been to conferences before, usually we have a printed planner. That's a 15 to 20 sometimes 40-page booklet that gives you all the schedules. It gives you information about a variety of our other meetings, about vendors and ads. We're going to make it this year digital, and it's going to look like a flip book. I don't know if anyone's ever sort of been to a website where they've had a book or had a like an ad from a store. Target, I think, has them too, where you literally flip pages. So they usually go this way. That's what this is going to look like. This will be the flip book will be available for every attendee, no matter what price point, and it's good for a year. It will have links up into the cloud, so we will probably have some vendors, and we might have speakers or others who want to add an article as well as an ad, or, you know, there's some flexibility. We haven't quite figured out what's the content's going to be, but I'm pretty excited about this being something that will be a very handy guidebook and reference for people for the next year. Group meetings. Now, group meetings involve what we call special interest groups, or SIGs, and they have interests that are specific to our geographic region or a specific topic, like Galicia, Hungary, United Kingdom, or volunteers working on records, JRI Poland. And within JewishGen, these groups are designated as research districts, and those include Hungary and a lot of the countries, Belarus, and I'm trying to think, Germany, and there are, I think, 15 RDs now, if I remember correctly. So there's also, as part of the group meetings, there are what we call birds of a feather, or BOFs. Acronyms are just such fun. These are groups that meet, that share interests about a specific town, or being a professional genealogist, or cemetery restoration in a particular country, or using Apple technology. They are often a little bit smaller than the SIGs, but not necessarily. And then we have a newer, this is sort of our addition over the last few years, is what are called district research groups. And those are very specifically focused on a particular area or country district that coordinates records and the acquisition and research for families in those areas. These group meetings are the ones that are part of the limited access fee. You will be allowed, you will have access to just these and the expo hall. And the other piece that also happens, other things that happen during our conference, we have leadership seminars, which IAJGS created to support the leadership of local societies. Last year, they had seminars that touched on security and finances and software and volunteer engagement. And the annual meetings, there's JewishGen has an annual meeting that recognizes their volunteers and talks about what's happened over the last year. And the IAJGS also has an annual meeting and gives out awards for the 2021 awards. These two pieces, the leadership seminars and the annual meetings, are part of the free access. So what happens after August 5th? What happens after the conference itself, and you've like missed ones that you wanted to see? And so on demand and the live presentations, which have been recorded, and the expo hall will all be available and open for 60 days past the close of the conference. And then if you still yet miss a lecture, when you go in to register, you will notice that you can buy what we call, the name of the company is Fleetwood, and they do recordings on a USB that they will mail to you. So, but be aware that we have some speakers who don't want to necessarily, you know, who are working with their, you know, who choose to keep their sessions private and up to date, so they will not be included necessarily in the Fleetwood recording. And so let's talk about registration and what's really involved. So a full conference access to everything. Early bird registration, which has opened a few days ago, is $250, and that gives you access to everything that happens in the conference, and that's available until June 10th, after which the price will go up to $325. Limited access allows you to attend any of those SIG, BOF, research district, or research group meetings, and the free access meetings. The cost for that one is you can go to one meeting for $10, or 2 or however many 12 you want to go to for $18. There will be, by the way, there's about 18 or 20 SIG and RD meetings, and there's about between 25 and 30 of those BOF and RG meetings, those smaller meetings. So there's about 40 of them altogether. Free access allows you, as I said before, to just the seminars and the 2 annual meetings. And now I guess we're good for questions. You can always, this is my email. You can email me at chair@IAJGS2021.org. And here's the website for registration. And I guess I will get into the Q&A.
So just a reminder, first of all, thank you, Judi. That's really interesting. And congratulations for all the work that you and your team have done so far. For everyone listening, you can post questions in the chat. Judy's going to look at them and try to read them out. Please try not to make them personal in nature. Keep them broad so that they have relevance to everyone. And as Judi mentioned, and as on the screen, she has her email and made it accessible and available. So if you have specific questions related to you personally, please email her, but use now as an opportunity to ask general questions.
Okay. Thank you, Aframi. Let's see here. New at Jewish Gen. So really the conference that this Steve, it looks like, asked that says he's new at Jewish Gen, and the websites I spoke about, really there's only the one website, which is, let's see if I can make sure I don't think I'm covering up here, is just the conference website to go in and register. And it has a great deal of this. It has a great deal of this information. I don't think it has, as of yet, we haven't got mock-ups of the virtual environment, but it will certainly give you information on all the different meetings and things like that. And probably in about another week and a half, 2 weeks, the actual full program, which will give you all the live and all the recorded and on-demand, pre-recorded and on-demand sessions will be on the website. Someone's asking a resource question. Do you expect ProQuest to be in the resource library? We're not sure yet. Jan's working on it. The gentleman that Jan has worked with before has retired, so not sure yet. So I can't give you an answer on that one. I know ProQuest is a rather amazing resource that usually is only available in libraries. So we have been very fortunate that they have come to our conferences and given us access for a day or two at our conferences, but we're still working on that one. Will leadership question, this one's asking about the leadership seminars, include discussions of transitioning from virtual meetings to hybrid. If you want to send that to me as an email, I can forward that on to the person who's organizing those seminars. I'm not organizing them directly, but I can certainly pass that on to the person who's going to be putting those together. Certainly a great question. How quickly will the live presentations be posted? Do you mean once they're recorded and uploaded? Probably a few days or a day or two. I'm not sure. That's, again, not directly up to us. That's up to our vendor company, how quickly they get them uploaded. And I don't have a specific time frame on that yet. We haven't really talked about it. Will we see email addresses for attendees who agree to it? Okay, so here's the question about the GDPR. Part of your registration question, and this one is a required question of everyone, we are asking you if you are okay, if you are not okay with having your name and email address available, you need to opt out. And we will make sure that your name and email is removed from every place it may or may not show up. Because all those SIG and BOF meetings will be in a Zoom format where people will be able to see each other and your name and emails will be available for the organizers of it. So if you don't want your name seen or your email seen, that's up to you to opt out, and that's part of your, it's a required question as part of your registration. And everybody, even if you're on the taking the free access, everybody has to register. You have to get into the system. However, on your mobile app, that's up to you to self-regulate. If you want your email and name not to show up there, you'll have to remove it from there. Let's see. Is there a way for an informal ad hoc groups to gather in a chat room or something. Yes, actually there is. Can't give you the exact instructions on how to make it happen yet, but yes, they are private. We will have something that's called United Communication. Within United Communication, there are chats back and forth. There are side rooms that you can create. There's one-to-one meetings you can happen. Those will all be possible. So yes, I just can't tell you exactly how. By the way, all these instructions, once we figure out, because again, this is an all very new environment for all of us, all those instructions will be on the website. So keep in mind, the website's going to be probably your best friend to go in there and make sure that you keep checking, both for how to access because there is a category that's called the Attendee Service Center or Attendee Center, and instructions will be in there and tell you how to do all these things. When will the conference sessions be published? ID, the different subjects that would be covered. Yes, the program should be up, I would say, someplace in the next 2 weeks. That's our goal, certainly no later than May 15th. Will the flipbook reference be available in printed format for frequent reference to a non-app user? If I'm pretty sure, I can't, I'd have to check into that, but my guess is yes, you should be able to download it and print it out yourself. It will be available for a year online, so in the cloud. So it is going to be pretty accessible, but I would have to, I'll make myself a note to make sure to find out if the flip book is downloadable. But I can check into that. Again, that'll probably be involved in, once we get instructions and details, that'll all be on the website. We will be able to, this question is asking, will we be able to see the session titles and speakers and their topics before registering? Actually, yes, because they'll be on the website, like I said, in the next couple of weeks. But just keep in mind, pay attention to that early bird deadline and make sure you register before the price goes up. Is there any idea how many seminars Lynn wants to know how many seminars will be related to German Jewish genealogy? Off the top of my head, not a clue. Usually there's more related to Polish. So as a non-Polish, non-German, and all 100% Hungarian, because I have nobody else in my family but Hungarians, I relate to this question. And I've been told more than once that the largest percentage of Jews in America are descended from Polish Jews. So there's just more of them than us. However, we made every concerted effort to balance the program as much as possible so that there are sessions about everything, both German Jewish, Hungarian, Polish, Litvak, Gesher, Galicia, everything. So all the areas. Again, the program will be up and you can check. Will people be able to yes, this one is, will people be available during the conference to assist with technical questions? Absolutely. There is tech support both for all the Zoom sessions and for the webinars and online and live sessions online. Now the on-demand, no, probably not, but probably even at that point you can email. The company that we're working with is called eShow, and I'm sure if you are having they have email access where you can ask questions if you're having technical, even with the on-demands. So that is always available. Hi, Judy. Aura wants to know, oh, we're back into Hungary again. Well, we do have some Hungarian sessions, but probably the best way, since this one's very specific about Hungary and family, you could email me directly at chair@IAJGS 2021, and I can give you some more ideas about those resources. Lynn again wants to know, do you know if Family Tree Maker or Reunion software companies will be there? We don't usually ever have anybody from Reunion. We usually do have reps from Family Tree Maker. I don't know. Diane Jacobs is our sponsor liaison, so she would be able to answer that better than I, and I believe she's on. But Family Tree Maker usually comes, so they will probably be in the expo hall and you'll be able to talk to them in their booth. In other words, the sessions we know will be offered. I'm not sure I understand that question from Kathleen, if you want to rephrase that. How much is the on-demand recording? From the Fleetwood, the USB, it's $189 right now. It will be more once after the conference is over. And just to be aware, it usually takes, it'll take Fleetwood probably about, I think it's usually about a month or so to be able to create the compilation of all the sessions so they can upload them into the USB, and then they will send them out to you. So it's a pretty good deal actually for that kind of money. Let's see, next one. Will conference cover specifics on how to research survivors of the Hungarian forced labor? I want to find father's records, but have no idea how. Yes, you also, whoever this anonymous attendee is, should also probably email me as well. My father was part of the Hungarian slave labor battalions, so I can give you some ideas of what I've managed to find. I don't know if we have one talk that will be about Hungarians in the military, I think, if I remember correctly, but I don't know if he specifically covers forced labor. Will all sessions be available in English? Yes, they will. We don't have any in other languages right now. May not know that, but some questions are in the chat section. Okay, I'll get over to you guys in the chat in a minute. Will MyHeritage have a booth? As far as I know, as soon as they decide to become a sponsor, yes, they will. And they probably will. All right, so let's go look at chat. Oh, chat has a bunch. Okay, here's the chat group. Do you know if Romania, Bukovina, or Ukraine will have SIGs or similar interest group sessions? Yes, yes to all of the above on all three of those groups. Although I don't know about Bukovina, I don't think is an actual separate group. Romania and Ukraine are, and they are planning to have RD meetings. Let's see. Oh wait, I just hit the wrong button and now this is huge. Hold on. Yes, hello, daughter from Jersey City. What else have I got here? Irvington, New York. Oh, somebody else from Irvington. Shelley Greenspan.
Bukovina will be part of our Romanian group.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shelley Greenspan in Irvington, New York. Should probably talk to my brother, Michael Jory, who also lives in Irvington. These are telling me where people are. Okay, hold on. I have to get down to the questions. Oh, there's my other brother in New Hampshire. Thank you. Always nice when I have people who are related to me and still want to talk to me and listen to me. 2 new messages. Maybe I'll get down to the bottom. Okay. Will live Zoom sessions and on-demand sessions recordings be captioned? Okay. Zoom, I believe, does that automatically. The on-demand, no, because the people are recording them, or speakers are recording those themselves. We can certainly encourage them to make them captioned when they do the recording, but I'm not in their house doing their recording. We did find last year when we worked with, Robin Magid worked with, she's our accessibility chair. We had one young man that says what he has done is there's a app on his phone that converts speech to text, and he held his phone up to his computer to the speaker and it worked pretty well for him. So that's something, if you want to find out more about that and need more information, if you go onto the website, there's a list of the contacts for the conference, and Robin's accessibility chair email is there and she can answer more thoroughly for you. Let's see. Please clarify what's, okay, yes, free access. Please clarify what is free access. It does not include, you're right, it does not include any of the webinars or the on-demand. It does not, it includes the expo hall. Yes, you will be able to access the expo hall, but it only allows access to the seminars and the annual meetings. You are correct. It does not include the webinars or any of the on-demand recordings. On the other hand, if the $250 is too much, you could do free and then buy the USB, which would give you not everything, but it would give you the Fleetwood. It would give you some of the on-demands and some of the live recordings. Will Mac Family Tree have a presence there? I have. This is from, oops, these are going really faster than I can read. Will Mac Family Tree from Judd have any information, any user support group available anywhere? That I don't know. I mean, we have Family Tree Maker. Is that, I don't know if that's the same as the Mac, if they have a Mac. If Makiev, is that what if it's the Makiev Family Tree Maker, then yes, they are there. We don't have a support group for them, but they may be one. You might have to check with them at the booth. When you suggested several surnames in one's family, would you suggest, yes, you have an option of 8 names you can put in there, Deborah Sachs, for Deborah. Yes, use all 8 of them if you can. The more that you put in there when you register, the more people will be able to see it. So Judd Klein, Gil Bardage said to tell you that go to the Apple Tech BOF and some of them will be able to talk to you. Will not all be available for the $18 price. Correct. For the $18 price, you get all of the SIGs and the BOFs and the RDs and all those group meetings and the free ones, but that's it. Jordan. Okay, thank you, Jordan. Eli, different app from Family Tree Maker. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I guess I didn't. I am a proud not user of any Apple product, so you can't go by me. So Bonnie Burns is asking what has been added for Sunday, August 1st. Originally, the conference started in person on Monday the 2nd. We felt that we just needed that extra day to be able to comfortably put in those, what will now be 150 different webinars and meetings. So just spreading it out over 5 days instead of 4 days was just much easier. Let's see. Ethan wants to know what range of years will the early American track cover? Well, it's really, those tracks were there for speakers to present abstracts and information. We do have things on the colonial era. I think we have one presentation. We do have a couple of Civil War ones. You'll have to look at the program. I don't honestly remember all of them. How would access to the paths, I keep you to the show up. How would I access the different pathways? Well, you'd be able to search for them by keyword as long as you were a full conference attendee. And then each of the presentations are indicated, give you a link to what the subject and what track they fit into. What will be viewable after the conference? Everything will, if you are a full conference attendee, everything will be available. Everything that was originally live that's now been recorded and uploaded, and all the on-demands and the expo hall will all be available for 60 days after the conference. Okay. Never done a conference. What's a SIG and not a BOP, a booth, a BOF, etc. I would go to the website. The explanation, it was in my talk, but it's written out more thoroughly on the website as well. Historically, early American went to about 1870. Well, thank you, John. Again, it's basically whatever is submitted by the speakers. All right, let me go back up here for the ones that I skipped. Information from Czech Republic. I believe so. The Austria Czech is usually together. Kathy was asking. So I would look under the Austria Czech. That's the RD that covers Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic. Would you suggest having, what about Ukraine, the Pale, and Russia? What about them, Mark? There are talks about all of those categories. Again, these are, it's what the speakers submitted as their abstracts, and you're going to have to look through all the subjects. We can't, even in a 5-day conference, you can't cover with 150 sessions every country, every topic, everything. So there is, the program committee makes decisions we had over 400 possible submissions of presentations, and you had to bring it down to the 150 that we're doing. Well, I answered that one and that one. Okay, how would I access pass? Okay, it keeps going down, not up. So yes, this one's asking Judy's email about the Hungarian information. Just email me at chair@iajgs 2021.org. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you. Oh, Barbara Hershey wants to know if there are sessions planned. Yes, we have some Sephardic focused sessions. Good question. We have, I don't know if we have anything specifically on Indian Jews or Mizrahi. I believe Serena Rofe is Iranian, if I remember correctly. Someone will probably correct me.
Serena Rafe is spearheading our Sephardic research division.
Correct.
And we're working on a number of exciting collections that will hopefully be accessible by the summer.
Right, and she is doing a talk at the conference. Again, you'll have to look up specifically what that particular talk is about.
You can also mention that there's also crypto Jewish content.
Yes, there is. Jeannie Milgram is going to be doing. Judi Gyory Missel talking about crypto Jews. Yes, so it's just there's so many pieces. It's hard for me to tell everybody about everything. So Karen Franklin is saying that there are at least 3 German sessions. She's giving one. I know Alex is giving another. So again, your best bet for all those kinds of questions are wait till the program is published, and then you'll have a pretty clear idea of what's in, and that is all keywords searchable, which includes the different countries. So you'll be able to look at that. I think I answered that one already. Okay, let's see. Deadline for signing up. Technically, the deadline for signing up for Steve, if you want the early bird registration, that's the price. That's July 10th. There is no early bird or change of price on the limited and the free access. So technically, you can all the way up until August 1st. But for the complete access, the full conference attendee, the price will go up to $325 on June 11th. So, but the other ones won't change prices. But yeah, you can keep signing up until the very last minute, I assume. We won't close down registration. Let's see, Dan Metzger, thank you for making recorders available through Fleetwood. He's previously bought them the 4 previous ones, and he's listened to them in his car and on walks. Excellent, good plug for Fleetwood. Appreciate that, Dan. I've gotten them for many years as well. Will there be Jewish films? How many? Last year some were full. We did have a few films submitted. Haven't quite figured out the mechanics of when to show them or how to show them, or because the filmmakers would like to be able to talk, so you can't really put them on demand. So there are about 3 or 4 planned, but I can't tell you exactly the mechanics of that. For that question came from Deborah Nelson. Thank you. You're gonna have to, that's one of those, stay tuned for more information. How long are the prices? I just did that one. Let's see. The mobile app will work on everything. This is from Kathy. She wants to know if the mobile app will work on iPhones and on tablets. Yes, it works on all of the above. Okay. Let's see which ones I've missed so far. Okay. 23andMe does not normally come to our conferences. Margaret wanted to know. I've never seen them there. The only one that's Family Tree DNA has consistently been at our conferences. Bunch of questions here. Using a translator, I can't read your name. I'm so sorry. But if using a translator, will there be an additional charge for that? No, that's absolutely included, both for the mentors and the translators. That's included in the conference benefits that we all have and can use. Let's see, research divisions. Okay, so I'm going to go back down to the bottom because now there's a whole bunch of them added at the end. Okay. Family Tree, yes, it's sponsored. Barbara Hershey says that, yeah, usually My Heritage and Ancestry will usually be there, and Family Tree DNA. They are all typically sponsors. Oh, I said, oh, thank you, Eli, for catching me saying that I said July 10th. But it's June 10th is the cutoff on early bird registration. Sorry, must be thinking of my birthday's in July, that's all. Yes, it is June 10th is the early bird, end of early bird registration. Thank you for catching me on that. Is there a Holocaust? Deborah Sachs wants to know if there's a Holocaust link to be included for researching family. There are a variety of Holocaust presentations about different families and about varieties of resources and access, archives. So again, you're going to have to wait till the full program is up. Don and Elizabeth wanted to know, last year there was a nice long break in the middle of the day with sessions in the evening. Is that how you may do it this year? Also, will there be films like last year? Well, I've answered the films part of it. I think there will be a break, but the break sort of worked for people that were in the United States, but not so much people outside of the United States. So I'm not sure. Obviously, there will be some sort of break in the middle of the day, but I don't know if we'll make it a 2-hour break or what the break was for last year. Let's see. All right, there's some more new ones down here. Hold on. All right, so now I have to go back to the Q&A. There are a lot in the chat, but here's the Q&A. Let's go back to the Q&A. I did that one. Thank you, Michael. Yes, the program will be available for the public and attendees because that'll be on the website in about 2 weeks. Thank you, baby brother. Is on-demand included on the Fleetwood USB? Yes, the on-demand will be included there. Okay. All right. Have I missed significant ones? Avrami, do you know if can you see any that I've totally missed?
No, I think you covered a lot of them, most of them. Thank you very much. I'll just mention that, just remind people that the website is IAJGS2021.org.
Yep.
As Judi mentioned, you can register. It's still on the screen, IAJGS2021.org. We hope that you'll join. It should be a really wonderful conference, as Judi has explained. Also let you know that, as the name implies, it's the International Association of Jewish Genealogical Societies. So many Jewish genealogical societies will have representation at the conference. Use it as an opportunity to learn about groups in your geographic areas. There's so many people who are interested in genealogy, probably where you live. And it's a wonderful opportunity to join these groups, to connect with others, to learn from the many different programs and presentations they offer.
Indeed. Well said. Yes, one of the things that we were not able to, and you should know that there are bits and pieces of being that you can do in person that are not possible to do online. And one of them is being able to have those structured as well as impromptu meetings with other societies and with other groups. Usually we have something called a share fair, which I was not able to have for this virtual conference. Certainly for next year, hopefully it will be back to life. And that does allow all those groups to set up tables and have people visit them. So that would be
okay. Well,
certainly one of the things you can do.
Well, we thank you very, very much. Again, the website is IAJGS2021.org. I'll also mention that for many of the research divisions that Judi mentioned, you can find them on the JewishGen website, JewishGen.org. And they're all volunteer driven, and
you can always email me as well for other questions if one has one.
Yes, you can email Judi for conference questions, and also monitor the discussion groups. The conference will be posting messages there as well. And Judi, thank you very, very much for all of your hard work on the conference and putting it together. And I'm sure the next few months will continue to be busy, and we really appreciate it and all of your work and your team's work.
Thank you. And thank you to all my team. Yes.
We hope that everyone will join us, and we wish you all a wonderful rest of the day. And I hope that you'll visit JewishGen.org/live and sign up for our upcoming programs this month. We have a cooking class with Serena Rafe next week. And towards the end of the month, we have a panel discussion on resources for researching Southern Jewish Life in the United States, which is the beginning of a series on that topic. So thank you again, and wishing you all a wonderful rest of the day.